going to be going through Mar-Vell's emergency kit. I first made this because I saw Jackson Galaxy's video on having an emergency kit for your pets. We live in the Midwest, so our most common weather emergency ends up being snowstorms, where we would be stuck at home or we have everything we need for her. I wasn't preparing for some apocalypse type scenario. I was just thinking, oh, if a family member got sick and we immediately needed to go visit them, what would we do with Mar-Vell? And this would be a way that we could just take her with us and not have to worry about that. So this is everything we would need to be able to take care of her for about a week. This is not meant to be an all-encompassing guide. I watched a bunch of cat emergency or even general pet emergency kit videos and then picked and chose what out of those I wanted to include for Mar-Vell based on our situation. First, we have our regular carrier. We just keep this right next to all of the other emergency things so that we can pick it all up at once. This is by Sherpa and it fits Mar-Vell pretty well. We haven't had any issues with it. Next, we have an old towel. This was recommended in a lot of videos. It's pretty versatile. If she were to make a mess, have an accident, you could use it to clean her up. If it was cold outside, we could cover the sides of the carrier to keep her more warm, or cover it just to keep it dark so that she's less afraid. Next, I keep all of the little things in a brown paper bag with a post-it on top that says everything I put in it. First up in the bag, I used an old oatmeal container to fill it with her litter. In the sort of emergency we are preparing for, we could go to the grocery store and buy a roasting aluminum tray, and then you could fill the litter with that. I don't have a specific scoop for the emergency kit. Her litter box is right next to where we keep the emergency kit, so I do have a note on the post-it saying the couple things we would need to grab. Next, I have a garbage bag. This also very versatile. You could use it for the litter box, to carry any mess that she makes. The most important thing was her food. I filled up how much she would eat in the span of a week, and I wrote down how much is in there, the name, the brand, and then the date that I filled it up. Then I also have the expiration date that was listed on the bag that I filled it up from. And then I have a 1/4 cup scoop for her food. We have a collapsible bowl that could be used for the food or for water. I put a few of her favorite treats into this tin. This also I wrote when it was filled and the expiration date listed on the bags. We have a few small items in this Ziploc. I have a little packet of wet food because she does prefer wet food. Dry food's easier to store and you can store more of it, but I just kept this in case she's not eating her dry food and we can try this. And then we have a tube treat, which is also one of her favorites. I was also recommended to keep a syringe in case you need to give any medications to your cat. Mar-Vell is not on any medications right now, but this came with some medications that we had to give her in the past, so I thought this is a good place as any to store it. I have this in the Ziploc because I have a piece of paper and that helps keep it waterproof that has all of Mar-Vell's information, her adoption day, how old we think she was at that time, her vet's address and phone number, the closest pet emergency room and their phone number, and my name, my partner's name, and our address all on the card. We also keep an identical card in her carrier. That was very useful because one time when we boarded her, there was another cat there that had the exact same carrier. And I was able to tell them our carrier has a little card in it with all of her information, so we know that one's ours. We also have one of her favorite toys. We have many copies of this one, so I just left one of them in here. And then the spring toys are also one of her favorites, so put a couple of those. Yeah.
She really wants to tell them.
Okay.
Yeah, go.
She can hear me talking.
Yeah. Get her.
And we're talking about her. Oh, Mar-Vell. Okay. Is that your new spot now?
Hi.
The pandemic has given me a new perspective on supply shortages and not having what we need. We do buy her food in bulk, so I don't feel too worried about being vulnerable to shortages with her food or her litter or anything like that. That's also something to think about. In the end, you have to choose what you're going to need in your emergency kit based on what you think your cat or pet will need in the span of a week or a month, and decide what you're preparing for.
Thanks so much for watching. I've included links to all of the products in the description below. Remember to like and subscribe and let us know what else you'd like to learn about Mar-Vell.